Welcome to another episode of Bear Down Ballers. I'm your host, AJ BRAMLETT. Got my super producer, Ryan Wall, with me again this week. And Arizona basketball continues to roll, man. It's been a good run for us so far. Ryan, what were your thoughts on the last week of Arizona basketball?
Yeah, Saturday night was the best day of the season of college basketball overall, and it ended with an incredible victory. Arizona revenged their loss from a season ago when they had their first loss of the season, and they beat Tennessee 75-70. Then Arizona was ranked number 9, beat number 6 Tennessee. Arizona moved up to number 5 in the AP poll. AJ, what do you think about this victory? And to me, this is the biggest win of this season up until this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about the Indiana win, neutral court. They played really well on the national stage. This was another opportunity for that. But I think this one was one that they questioned a little bit. They didn't know if we were going to be able to handle the physicality, handle, the rebounding advantage, really compete, on a defensive end against a tough team like Tennessee. And it wasn't like they had, they have a lot of guys that score, double figure points. They didn't have one guy that we really had to shut down. We had to kind of shut down their whole team. And they hung around. They played good basketball. But my favorite thing was the atmosphere at McHale. That was the old McHale. You know what I mean? The stripe out looked amazing. The energy was up, and the guys responded to that challenge and played a really good game on national TV. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't, one of our, 100-point plus scoring games, but to still put up 75 points against, the top defensive team in the country in Tennessee and really make all the key plays, from different guys throughout that game. I thought it was just a really bright spot for us and a real springboard for us as we move, now into closer to the Pac-12 meat of the season.
I thought, the crowd, as you mentioned, looked incredible. I was just my biggest takeaway was just the resiliency of this team to kind of bounce back when they were deep in the holes. 8 points, I believe, was their largest, that they trailed in the game. And, they just continued to fight and kind of play Arizona basketball. And this season it's been, giving it to the big man. And Tabellas and Ballo didn't slow down. They did it again. Both had almost near double doubles apiece. Tabellas 19-9 and Ballo had 18-8. I mean, just what's more to say about these guys? Who can't these guys dominate?
We haven't seen it yet, man. They're best front court in the country by far, and they complement each other. We've said it, kind of all season long, but they complement each other so well. They bring different skill sets to the table, but they work so well together, and they continue to do it game after game. It's not just, a flash in the pan or whatever. They've done it since game 1 of this season. And Umar continues to improve. Zoo is a National Player of the Year candidate right now, in my opinion. And Umar is too, really. I mean, they're two of the best bigs in the country. I love to watch them play. And just the way that Umar's patience and just his dominance, physically of almost everybody that he's played against this year is incredible. And then Zoo does it. And he's also physical, but he does it in a crafty way. You know what I mean? He scores the basketball in so many different ways, runs the court, does the same things every game. And his defense has been, really, really good this year. So, those two guys are just rocks of the team. Pella played probably his best game, in that game, which I love to see. You can see him coming around on the offensive end, feeling more comfortable. And, that backdoor cut, late in the second half, beautiful play by Tommy, calling that. And then good delivery by Ramey, and then Pella just going up so strong and finishing that on the and one. I was going crazy. So it was just overall just really, really good performance for us on Saturday.
I was going to bring up Pella. I agree. That was his best game of the season up until this point. And, to me, just what was so impressive, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 9 foul shots. That, to me, was the thing that impressed me the most with him, because he keeps finding different ways to affect the team in a positive way. When his 3-point shot, is under 30%, he's still not, the guy that we remember from deep a season ago. So, yeah, it's great to see that impact. But another crazy stat of the night, AJ, was Arizona scored all 75 points from their starters. Their bench had 0 points. That includes Henderson, who we know normally produces a lot off the bench, but how big do you think that is for Arizona to kind of push through and get the victory, even though their bench, has been up and down throughout the season, and in this game was, not there at all.
Yeah, I mean it says a lot, man. That's difficult to win when points wise, the bench didn't provide anything in that game, but they provided other plays and positive things throughout the game. But that's not something that we can just lean on, for the rest of the season. We're gonna have to figure that out. Said did bounce back, in the game against Montana State, had a really good game, took 16 points in that game and bounced back. But as the other guys come along, they're going to be up and down, though, like we talked about. Henry's going to he'll be up and down. I think Kylan's kind of getting a little bit more consistent, but also we don't know what to expect from those guys exactly every game yet. But Cedric's the one that I think can play more consistent. He will play more consistent. Just had a bad shooting game from the offensive side of things, but still contributed. But that is something that we're going to have to get fixed moving forward, and hopefully we can get some more support off the bench. But starters, they did their thing, and they provided everything we needed in a really intense atmosphere. A top 10 matchup, and did everything we needed to do to get that victory at McHale. It was just fun to watch.
Yeah, another guy who played a big role in that victory was Courtney Ramey. 13 points, 5 rebounds, was 4 for 9 from 3-point land. He hit 4 out of the 5 3-pointers for the Wildcats. How big do you think his impact helped them? Because he hit some really big shots down the stretch there.
Courtney's been, just a dog all season, man. He's solid. He competes at an extremely high level. On the defensive end always, and it's really been a consistent shooter. Shot the ball, probably our best shooter, consistently throughout the season. And he takes good shots. He takes tough shots sometimes and can make those, but he's just a really smart basketball player. And when he has the ball in his hands, you feel confident. It's good to have that. And he's a guy that once we get into Pac-12, into the NCAA tournament, he's a guy that you can trust with the basketball at the end of games, with him and Kerr kind of complementing each other. I love what we have there at that position. And just the grit and grind that Ramey plays with is something that, I think brings a ton to our team.
AJ, Arizona's had a lot of hoops to get over this year, a lot of big matchups, started with, the couple games in Maui and then to Vegas just a couple weeks ago, beating Indiana, and then this victory. What do you think kind of makes this win against Tennessee so big and important for this program?
I mean, like we've talked about before, we want to be in these games. This is what Arizona basketball is about. We want to be playing in the best game of the day. And last Saturday, there was a lot of good games. Across college basketball, right? And we were one of the key matchups. And I think this was against Indiana. I think people questioned if we could beat them, but it wasn't to the level of Tennessee. I think that people thought that we just couldn't handle them physically. And so in this game, that's what I like the most, is that, we dominated them, on rebounds and in the paint, and we're able to withstand all of their runs and just stick with it and play our style of basketball, because we never wavered from that. We were down in the first half, we were down the second half. We never wavered from it. We didn't start taking bad shots, stuck to the system, kept moving it, kept getting the ball inside, and came out with that victory. So it was just, for me, it was just like a cementing win for, obviously the non-conference schedule. We still got one more game to go in that. But before we get to the Pac-12, this was just a huge victory for the program and for this team, because during this time of year, and I think we saw it a little bit even, in the Montana State game, these games are hard, man. Like it's the end of the semester, it's the end of finals, you're tired. And it's just, this is where you can slip up if you're not focused. And it was good for us to, come out with a big victory there, and then also take care of business in the next game as well.
Mentioned the Montana State. Let's talk about that a little bit. Arizona beat Montana State on Tuesday night, 85-64. And this was a really good victory. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was pretty, for all 40 minutes there, but 6 starters scored in double digits, led by Kirk Kriisa, bouncing back from an illness he was going through for the past week or so. He had 6 3-pointers. He was just excellent. What'd you think about him, and what'd you think about this game as a whole?
Yeah, I thought, it started off a little bit slow in this one, but also Montana State is a good team. They're a tournament team last year. They have veteran guys, And so they were going to come in and, play hard and give us our best shot. Kerr hitting those threes is big. Anytime, he plays that way and is able to shoot that way from downtown, we usually win. So it was good to see him, get his rhythm back a little bit, get on a hot streak there. But, I thought Sad bounced back. He played a really good game, really energetic. You crashed the boards, made some really athletic plays that I liked. And, it was a good victory. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like these games, like I said, around this time can be tough. And so even to come out with, a 20-point victory or so was big for us. And we got one more to go before, we dive in deep to the Pac-12 schedule.
It was this was, like you said, this was a good victory. Everyone, I would say, looked pretty good. It's good to see Pella, kind of over 10 points once again. He's kind of hitting his stride on offense. But yeah, I like you said, I think Henderson was probably, to me, the second best player on Arizona. He just looks so comfortable out there, and his leadership and his ability to score the ball impresses me every time.
Yeah, Sed's been great. I mean, he's had a couple up and down games, but that's no big deal. But his energy and effort have been there every game. The one thing I also noticed was Henry starting to come out of his shell a little bit too. He's making more plays. He made a couple plays off the dribble where he made good passes to Zoo. He has that in his game, and I think he's getting more comfortable. I think you're going to see him branch out a little bit and show a little bit more of his overall game that, he had when he was playing in Spain and Real Madrid. So that was a good positive to see too. Those guys continue to build, and Kylan's been solid lately, continuing on the upswing. So those guys have been doing a really good job, man, of just working their asses off and getting better every game.
Yeah, the young guys have been playing really good. They do look more comfortable on the floor, and that'll only continue to grow, as the season progresses here. But AJ, before we get into our guest today on the show, I want to talk a little about recruiting, because Arizona and Tommy Lloyd picked up a really good player for the 2024 class. Jamari Phillips from California. He's a shooting guard, a 4-star prospect. He's ranked 25th in the country. He just recently committed to Arizona a few days ago. Just wondering your thoughts of his fit and what this commit means for Arizona.
I think it's big, you know what I mean? Because I think people, obviously the international guys, Tommy's got that on lock pretty much. And, I think people have questioned, behind the scenes, maybe our domestic recruiting and if we're going to get guys. And, I never had any questions about that if we will be able to. And I think Jamari is a huge get for us. I mean, he's a big time player. He's athletic. He fits the mold of what we're trying to do. And I think that's the effect of Mikhail too, is that when you bring recruits in, I think Carter Bryant was there as well, for the game against Tennessee, and you see that big time atmosphere. You see the guys get a victory, and he commits right after the game. You know what I mean? That's the power of Mikhail and our fans and the city of Tucson. So I think it was a great start for us there, and he's going to be an anchor piece. And I think we're going to keep rolling and see, even with when we talked about it last week, but the lifting of the sanctions and the IARP being done with and everything's done, I think that's going to open it up even more for us, and we'll start seeing more and more guys want to come this way, because the brand of basketball that we're playing right now is something that if I was a recruit, I'd be coming to U of A in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, how many atmospheres in college basketball in general are better than Mikal for a big game? I don't think there's many. And yeah, Carter Bryant he's a 5-star prospect. He's ranked a little bit higher, 10 spots higher than Jamari Phillips, but they would be a great pairing to play together in a couple years here in Arizona. So far that's the 2024 class, the 2023 class. As we know, Arizona currently has one commit, and that is KJ Lewis. He's a small forward from Texas. He's a 4-star prospect.
They're gonna love KJ. They're gonna love KJ. I'm telling you that right now. He's spectacular.
He's a really good wing that Arizona needs a lot. Arizona's still in the mix for a couple of players for 2023. But what do you think about kind of the job that Tommy's done recruiting, so far in just 2 seasons at Arizona?
I think he's done a hell of a job. And, the guys that we've gotten in, Kylan being one of them, is going to be, a really solid 2-star player, at Arizona. But I think the best thing that he's done for his recruiting is develop the culture that we have right now and the style of basketball. Everyone knows what it is. We proved it. It's the funnest brand of basketball to play in the country. It's a family atmosphere at Arizona, similar to what Coach Olson, had at Arizona. And Tommy's a coach that you want to play for. He's a player's coach. So, I mean, doing that quickly, and obviously last year helped with the amount of success we had and having 3 guys go, almost in the first round with Ben, DT and Koloko. But I think that's the best thing he's done is the culture is established now. This is what it's going to be for the next, 15, 20 years if Tommy stays that long. So, if I'm a recruit out there looking, that Arizona's a place I want to go.
Yeah, well, AJ, we have a great guest on the show today. Just tell everybody who we got, a guy that you go many years back with.
My guy, man, my brother, my championship point guard, one of the best point guards to ever do it in college basketball and in the pros. My guy, Mike Bibby, joins us next on Bear Down Ballers. All right, I'd like to welcome in my guy, my brother, true champion at all levels, the man, the myth, Mike Bibby.
What's going on, AJ? Appreciate you having me on, man.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm doing good, brother. Can't complain. And I know you're out there on that golf course today. What was it looking like out there today?
It wasn't bad. I mean, had 2 bad holes, missed about 6 or 7 putts by like this much, and landed right on the hole. I shot a 92. So I mean, I'll take that.
Yeah,
I could easily be in the 70s.
That's good. What's your best score you ever shot?
82.
82. Okay. All right.
Next time I don't shoot in the hundreds. I'll get in the 90s most of the time, but I'll get, good day 86. I shot 86 last week, 92 today. So between 86, 92 is my scores usually. So.
Are you hitting the ball about 400 yards, or are you all swole now and everything? Man?
I use a 1-iron. I can't use a driver. I can't hit a driver. I can't. I use a 1. I mean, I hit a 1-iron just as deep as all the other guys are hitting the drivers. I can't hit a driver.
You're too much left and right on that?
I mean, I don't. Yeah, it goes left. I mean, it's like way right too. It's like a way right. So I don't even take it out of my bag.
All right. You'll get there one day, man.
I'm not even gonna try. 1-iron get me straight. It gets me straight. All I want to do is hit it straight, man. I don't care about the left to right or right to left. I want to hit it straight.
Did you take lessons, or did you just learn playing?
I got a few lessons, probably like 5, 6, 7 lessons, but you know how it is. They try to get money from you, and let's start from this way. I don't need to know nothing else. I need to learn how to hit my driver. Yeah. I haven't hit the driver yet with my lessons, so I figure like, you know what, I'm just gonna go out there and play. Hopefully, I get better. So
I feel you. Next time I'm out there, man, we gonna get out there.
Yeah, let me know. We got a lot of courses that we get on, so we got a lot of good deals that we make with guys and stuff. So we get on a lot of places.
Okay, man. Good. Well, true. I appreciate you hopping on today, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. I always love talking to you, man. You know that. You're my brother, man. We went through a lot of stuff together. So
always.
Last time we talked a little bit about our championship run. We're just gonna revisit that just a little bit, to do that. And I just wanted to ask you what games do you remember most out of that championship run in '97? What were your games that stick out most to you?
The first 2.
Yeah.
Because, coming in, I'm a freshman. Like I said, the team's already established. You, Jason Terry, Dickerson, Miles Simon. I mean, you could go all the way down the line, like from 1 to however many guys we stopped playing, we're good players. And coming in, I was a very quiet guy until you got to know me at least. But I come in, I didn't want to step on your toes. And what the thing that got me was, I remember Coach Olson saying, "Hey, Mike, I need you to be aggressive."
Yeah.
And that kind of turned a light on for me as far as, you know what, if Coach wants to see it, I got to go out there. I put the work in, I got to go out there and use it. And that's what kind of opened me up to, these guys are everybody's getting the right amount of shots. It doesn't matter. There was no egos on the team. And just go out there and play basketball. Coach Olson has played our strengths. And when he said that to me, that turned a whole different switch in my game. And it was just like, get your ass out there and do it and play how you play. And that's what opened it up for me. I remember those 2 first games we should have lost probably.
Yeah.
But we bounced back, we came through. But those are the first 2. I remember the other 4, no one expected us to win.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All the 4, So coming in, those were the 2 that I think gave us the most trouble.
Yeah, it was we were down 10, with 5 minutes to go in both of those games, South Alabama and College Charleston. Came back and won. We were winners, man. Obviously, we came through when we needed to,
And it was good. Like everybody kind of, everybody complimented each other.
Yeah.
And it was never, Miles went down the first game that I played, and Miles was out, and we stepped up. We beat North Carolina the first game I ever played. And it was just that if somebody always stepped up when somebody wasn't ready there, and that's just the way our team was. No one expected us to even go that far. I remember sitting in the and waiting to see if we were even going to make the tournament.
Yeah, you remember that? We went through movies, but we didn't even know.
And we get the 4th seed. We're like, okay, we'll take that.
Yeah. Well, we had 9 losses.
We're like 500 in the Pac-10 at that time too. So the Pac-10, it was a good conference. A lot of good, like probably 5 or 6 teams came out that year too. So
there was a lot of good teams that year, man. It was a grind, but we got through it. You know what I'm saying? That first game against North Carolina, that's when I was like, because you were playing against Ed Cota.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, Ed Cota's the best point guard in the country, and Ed Cota. And I was like, nah. Watch what's going to happen in this game. I think you had 22 and 9 on them or something.
Ed Cota was up there, but I think it was between me and Shaheen Holloway. I think.
Yeah.
Because you know how the East Coast West Coast thing goes in the basketball league, and a lot of people didn't want me to be
number 1, right?
Yeah. So Slam was slamming. There was a lot of things that out there that were slamming my game and all that stuff like that. And I don't care about none of that stuff. I didn't care about that stuff. But going to U of A, going on my visit and meeting all you guys and knowing that I fit right in. I think it was a perfect fit just for. Just the way Coach Olsen did things.
It was for all of us, man.
Yeah, it was great. I got the I show everybody my I have a thing on Instagram of when we played Kentucky my sophomore year.
Yeah.
In Hawaii.
Yes. Yeah.
So I got that highlight on my Instagram because they put it on and somebody sent it to me, so I said I'm gonna keep that. So people didn't think I could dunk and stuff. So I showed them like, here, look at this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I remember when you came off the rim, when you shaking on the rim.
People didn't think I could jump, man. There was no point for me to jump. When I got to the NBA, it was just like they want me to be a shooter, so I'll be a shooter. I have no problem being a shooter.
Did you bang out? Did you bang out in the NBA?
I think I had 4 dunks.
Because I don't remember
nothing spectacular. I dunked 4 times,
high school, you were getting up, man. I remember watching high school. You were bouncy.
See, but you got in difference. I didn't have to play defense in high school, so my legs were there.
Yeah.
When you get to college, I had a few dunks in college, but when you get to the NBA, it's a lot more defense being played. Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna try to save my legs.
Yeah. You're some knockdown shooter, man. It's easier.
That's what I try to do. Shoot.
Hey, I'm gonna ask you this, man. I saw talking about our '97 team. I saw the video before the Indiana game where they came through and kind of showed you, I think, the uniforms that they were going to wear against Indiana. And I was hyped, man. I was watching that game. Like, hey, and I think it was the best college basketball uniforms ever, in my opinion. But I wanted to get your feeling on how you feel seeing them out there in them. You know what I mean?
Iconic uniforms. I wore those shorts yesterday. Actually, I wore them to the gym yesterday.
I still wear them too. Yeah.
But they brought me 2 new pairs. They're a little longer than what I thought these guys would wear today. Yeah. But compared to what we wore, they're shorter than that. But they're iconic uniforms. There've been so many people coming up to me saying, "Oh my gosh, you guys had the best uniforms in college." You look back at the stuff. I think we came out. I don't think you could put us on that Michigan level when they had Webb and Jalen Rose and all those guys. But I think we're up there. You know what I mean, with those uniforms.
I think the uniforms and the shoe game, man.
Yes, for sure.
We might have them on the shoes, man. Because
they started a whole new thing with the Black Sox and the Hirachis and all that stuff. So I gotta give them number one. I think we're a close second though.
But we were coming with these joints.
Yeah. Yeah, line the 13s and all this stuff.
You remember?
We had a lot of stuff. They took care of us, man, as they should have,
Yeah.
So I mean, it was good. It was good.
Let me talk to you about that, because when we were in college, we had everything. You played in all the iconic shoes. You have one of the greatest shoe collections in the history of the world, probably. Like, where did your love of shoes come from? What do you remember from Arizona? And then talk about like kind of your Jordan days too, and how that felt, because that's something that, is iconic too, still to this day.
The love of my shoes came from growing up not having any.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Right.
You have one pair of Jordans for the whole year and doing all that stuff. But, going to U of A, how Walt used to do it. They got to trade a pair of shoes out and stuff like that. But, once we asked Coach Olson, do you mind if we wear Jordans? And he didn't care. Yeah. And so once he said that, it was over with. I wore the red and white 13s my sophomore year, the Flint 13s my sophomore year. There's a lot of Jordans that I wore during that year, but we also wore the basic Nikes, that was given to us at that time and stuff like that. But, I think when, the funny thing is I saw Eric Blomberg. I seen him. I seen him like 2 months ago. We're at a golf tournament here, and he's like, Mike. I was like, what's up, man?
You recognize him or you didn't recognize
I didn't. He's like, you don't remember me? I was like, no. He was like, Eric. I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Not and he's the guy that kind of put us on the map. That's what I'm known for, is wearing the foam posits.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where a lot of stuff opened up. And I remember that story, he coming into our team. And, back then it was, your team is red and white, you wear red and white shoes. Yeah. So that's what we did back then. I remember coming in and he was like, hey, I got a shoe for you guys. It's not out yet. And I remember saying, I don't care. I don't even care what color they are. If it's not out yet, I'm wearing them.
I'm wearing them. Yeah.
And so he was like, they're royal blue. So he gave them to everybody on the team. A lot of guys didn't wear them. I chose to wear them. Yeah, I didn't look it back now, like, how the hell did I wear those?
I don't know how you wore those, bro. I could not play in those. Like, I could not play in them at all.
It's like playing in combat boots. So, but I mean, like, when you're that age, your feet don't care, you can play in whatever you go out there and play, as long as it has a sole on them.
I think it was only you and Miles and JT that wore them.
Miles didn't wear them. Miles wore his up tempos.
Yeah, you're right. JT wore them, and I think Donnell wore them.
I can't remember Donnell wore them or not. I think there's a few guys on the bench that wore them, but me and JT wore them. But still, I don't even think JT wore them that much out there.
Yeah, he wore a couple games.
Yes. So I wore them the whole time, and I mean, it's like it changed the whole thing for me. Like, I'm known as a shoe icon and all that stuff just from wearing that. And I mean, that's where my love of shoes came from, not having any. Yeah, I mean, and just being able to come in and go with the best brand out there and have them unlimited. I wouldn't say unlimited, but on call. And just be able to wear them and stuff like that. I mean, it's the greatest feeling in the world to be a Jordan Brand member.
And how was that? How was the first time you saw your own shoe though? Like your bib colorway and all that. Like, what was that like, man? You opening that up, and being like, man, like, what was that? Were you in the process of that too?
Yeah, like, it was crazy, because I remember at first there was a shoe that was too wide for me. So I had 11 and a half. Yeah. And then, okay, 12's too small too. And then they jumped to 13. And they don't make 12 and a half. So it was like my second year. So I was like, hey, you guys think you make a 12 and a half for me? And they were like, Sure, we'll make it 12 and a half. So I'm like, okay, maybe 12 and a half for me. So now they're making 12 and a half now. So I mean, from the first time I didn't even know what to put on my shoe. Because, you know, people got nicknames.
Yeah, right,
like Ray Lewis has Sweet Sugar Ray. And you get all these nicknames. I didn't know what to put. I said, put Bibby 10 on mine. I don't need nothing else on mine. Yeah. You know what I mean? So ever since they did that, I was just like, man, it's an amazing feeling just to have shoes coming in and everybody on your team is looking at what shoes you wearing tonight, what they give you tonight, what color they give you tonight. It's just a good feeling to have because everybody's always looking at what's on your feet.
Yeah, and now I mean, it's all the kids care about now. It's even bigger than when we were in college. We were coming up. It's been bigger now.
It's crazy now. Crazy. The brighter the colors, the better, I guess now. So.
Yeah, you can wear anything now, man.
Yeah, and not care that they make it better for people. Yes,
big part of that, man. You started all that.
Great feeling, man. Great feeling.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I know you've seen our guys play this year. One of the main keys to the squad success always is going to be at the point guard position. So, Kirk Creason and a guy that I think you know pretty well, Kylan Boswell, freshman. What do you think of Kerr's play and, the job he's doing so far? Is there anything, that you see that they need to do to, really make a deep run this year? Because I think they got a shot to make a deep run this year.
I think the coach is doing a great job, as far as letting these guys play, because they're out there kind of playing like how we did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of shots going up like, what the hell? You know what I mean? But that's the way they play. And they feel comfortable with that. That's going to make the kids do good. And just looking at the team, man, it's like finally feels like Arizona's going to be getting back on the map.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it has a lot to do with the coach. And I mean, it's just, I met him a few times, probably once or twice, and you can just tell that he's a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I talked to him more in the little time he'd been there than the last coach that's been here.
Yeah.
And it's different for us because we've been there, we've been good there through the good times and all that stuff. And like I said, it just feels good to be involved in stuff. And hey, Mike, come to the game. I want you to come to the game. We're going to be in ASU here, come to the game. And it just feels good. It feels like they're getting back on the right track. And it's showing by the way they're playing. They're out there going and dominating a lot of games. They didn't have a great game in Utah, but it happens. You play so many games.
We didn't have a great game against Utah either.
Yeah, I know.
we had the worst game of our lives against Utah, bro.
And it happens. It happens. Yeah. Like I said, you can see that they're back on the map, and it's good to see Arizona basketball back on the map. And I want to try to get out there and go to a game down there. It's different going to a game when they're playing ASU at ASU since I'm right here. But I want to get back to the game in Tucson one of these days. So
we should try to get out there for the UCLA game, man.
When is that?
Yeah, I think it's January 21st in Tucson that weekend. Something like that. So
okay. I think I'll be in Sacramento 23rd. So just let me know if you're gonna go out there. I'll try to get out there for a day or so. So
yeah, man. So it's fun and one thing I like about Tommy, he does the same thing that Coach O did is he wants all the big games. He wants them. Yeah. We're not running from anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to.
We want to be the primetime game, every week if we can do that and not shying away from anyone. So when we get to the tournament, we'll be ready to go.
Get you ready, yeah. He lets you play your strength. That's going to bring the best out. Like I said, I've seen. Like my son has been through a few colleges and stuff like that. And the way I teach the kids to play, the same as Coach Olsen, play your strengths, play hard. Everybody makes mistakes. You're not going to get pulled from making a mistake. Yep. And that's the way the coach is doing it now. But you get coaches that coach these kids and one mistake, you're out the game. You got these kids playing like, dang, I can't make a mistake. If I can make a mistake, I'm coming out and play a different way. Yeah. And it's tough for kids. And you want to excel if you don't let the kids feel comfortable with failing. And that's the way it happens, So
yeah, absolutely, man. I want to talk and that's a really good point. I want to talk about your nephew that's out here, at New Mexico playing some really good basketball right now. Them guys 13-0, here and Jalen's having a great season, man. Like talk about that. And I think your son is working with his twin brothers, the younger ones, right? That does
Yeah.
So kind of talk about that, just a family legacy, kind of keep going, man, because that's really
My
cool
son,
to watch.
he graduated college. There's a league that I'm doing that's called Fan Control Basketball League that I'm gonna have him playing in, just to try to get some film on him, kind of get him back on the right track and, get out there and play basketball. He's still young. He's 24 years old, still has a chance, to do something. Yeah. And I think he'll be all right. He lost a lot of weight. So, he's back on the grind again, so he'll be fine. Jalen, has a mix of the Bibby blood and he has a mix of the house blood. So but he's more like he plays like his dad. I coached him for 4 years and he has a heart of a lion. There's no denying that there's been many times we've been playing pickup games and he's talking trash to grown men. And I'm telling him like, Jalen, this isn't high school. Like these are grown men in here. You're going to have us in here fighting. Shut up. And like, he doesn't care. That's just his mental state. Like he doesn't care who it is. He's always been like that since he was like 5 years old playing with us. So, it's good to see them doing good and, see him excel and the way he plays. And so now Jalen has 2 younger brothers that are coming up, freshmen in high school, 2 different type of games. But I told Jason Gardner, y'all better get on these 2 before it's too late.
Yeah.
One of them, I think one of them's averaging 30 right now, as a freshman out here. Man. So, they're tough, man, but they got the Bibby blood. They got the house blood. We're just coming, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, we'll see. I try to get these kids, main thing is try to get these kids a free education. That's the biggest part of the thing. Just go take care of your grades now in high school. What a lot of kids don't understand, like when I coached, you kind of have the high school I don't want to say by the balls, but you, like we're the best team in the state. We're top 10 in the country. Do your schoolwork. Now, the SAT is going to be easy for you to pass. Yeah. You got a lot of these kids with bad grade point averages. It's going to be impossible to pass the test. Yeah. And they don't understand that till it's too late, man. But, you try to instill in these kids. High school ain't that hard.
No, it's not. It's not. Go to class, be good teachers, do your work. That's it.
Turn your schoolwork in on time. It's easy. They don't understand that. They don't understand it, man. It's tough.
Yeah, well, it's good to see the next, generations coming behind you guys, and it's just fun to watch, man. I got a couple.
You got some too, right? You got some coming up.
I got 2 coming up too. So, man, we can keep it going, man.
It's gonna be in the blood. That's what I'm saying. And like I said, Arizona should be the first to come after these guys. Just like you see a lot of these schools, like Jawan Howard's son's at the school. Yeah. There's a lot of kids that are at the school that their dad went to, with Carmelo, first offer at Syracuse, as it should be. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's tough because I call for my son, hey, what do you think? And I don't get a call back. Yeah. It's tough. You know what I mean? You see all this other stuff. It's tough to see.
Yeah. I understand that, man. Yeah. It's a cold game. It's a cold game. Hey, let me get your thoughts on, like you just mentioned Melo's son, you know what I mean, and Bronny, and how it is now. Like, what are your thoughts on how the game is now for high school guys? And we would have been doing that. You would have been doing it for sure, but we would have been doing the same thing. But it's just a totally different game now. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
It's different, man, because there's nothing being taught.
Yeah.
These kids still have to learn certain things. And I ran our high school program like a college NBA program. Yeah. We had study hall. We had shoot-arounds. We had walkthroughs before the game. We had film. A lot of these high schools don't do that. Yeah. We'd have shoot-around, and we're going to guard this guy pick and roll 3 different ways. Right. And we'll show you the 3 different ways. Right. Now trap. Now show them go under. These kids are learning. I'm teaching these kids. Yeah. We're not just getting out to the ball and just go play and y'all do whatever y'all want to do. Right. You got NBA plays that you're running. Yeah. I want you guys to run a certain offense. So if you could get the breakout and run, get out and run. But I want you guys to be able to run the play.
Yeah.
I coached at the prep school for a little bit and couldn't run the play. And you're going to the next level, you got to be ready for that. And
Right.
I mean, like I said, I went to NBA training camp and they're running double teams and Xing out of it and don't know how to do it.
Right.
And I'm talking, I asked the coach, I'm like, they don't know how to do that? He said, no one teaches them.
Wow.
And they're in the NBA.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just tough to see that, man. And like, it has nothing for me. I did all I had to do. And my main thing is I want these kids to be taught and to know, and they go to that next level to not be behind the eight ball.
Be empowered.
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah.
So, like, I know this. I learned this.
Yeah. That's how my son is right now. Like he's an eighth grader and he's playing, high school, my younger one. And he was like, now I get it, Dad. Now, like everything that you told me, like they're telling me now, you know what I mean? And I know what they're talking about. And I'm like, I've been telling you since
We ain't gonna steer him
know?
wrong. We're not gonna steer him wrong. And I had probably 10 players come to me like, Coach Mike, you're right about this. Yeah, I'm right. I'm not gonna tell you nothing that's gonna put you in a bad situation.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just, you want to see these guys. I mean, they got all the skill in the world. They just need to be taught stuff.
Yeah. But there's, I mean, athletic craziness now, man.
Yeah.
Everybody all over the board, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of that, man, everybody was tripping out like last year because you swole now. Like what went into that regimen? Like how you know what I mean? You always lifted weights though, even back in the day, like you used to lift weights.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people knew that, like, during the season and all that stayed on them. But what's gone into your, you know what I mean? You more swole than me now. You know what I mean?
It's more of I'm not lifting for basketball anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got kind of the penitentiary workout. I'll go in there for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and just do what I feel like I'm doing, you know? And even when I was in Sacramento, there's a lot of times, it's just the way I'm built. I was always, I mean, you could look at, even when I was younger, you could see that I had definition and stuff like that, but I could never get big because they wouldn't let me. I remember coming back from Sacramento and they'd be like, Mike, you can't lift like that.
Yeah.
You're like a lion, but you can't do that.
Right.
And so I was like, would you rather me sit at home and not do nothing? You rather me sit and lift weights?
Yeah.
It's got to be one or two. I can't be in the middle. And that's the way it's always been. And now, like I said, I don't have to lift to play basketball anymore. I can lift however I want to. So I mean, that's just the way it is, I guess. I don't know.
Well, that should work, man.
I like it, man. I love lifting weights. I love it.
All right, man. Before I let you get out of here, talk to me about the fan controlled hoops and what you got going on, man, because it sounds real dope. Like, what is that?
It's kind of like an NBA jam game. The court's an LED court. The fans control it. So we'll have a set of plays for these fans to where, call timeout, 2 or 3 minute timeout. Now the fans will, call in, vote on a play.
Yeah. We
come out, run the play, and the fans could decide who's on fire. So a kid will be on fire for, 2 minutes, and every shot he takes will be +1, no matter where. If it's a layup or a dunk, it'll be 3. If it's a 3-pointer, it'll be 4.
Right.
If it's a half-court shot, it'll be 5 points.
Right.
So I mean, the LED court is crazy. Once you see it, you're gonna be like, wow.
Man,
like the ball, like it follows the ball. It has a little
sensor on it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it'll follow the ball, and the light will follow the ball, and certain spots on the court will light up as well. Okay. So like the paint will be lit up for 2 minutes. So now every shot inside the paint is worth 3 points. So it's going to be a strategy. We got to score inside. Yeah. There's going to be corner threes that are lit up for 2 minutes. Those will be worth 4 points. Top of the key. So, I mean, it's going to be amazing. And, when they gave me a chance to kind of run the whole basketball side of this. Yeah. So we got, we're going to have, it's the first year they got a fan control football right now. Okay. It's been going for 3 years. Johnny Manziel, Terrell Owens played in it. And we're trying. It done so well that we're trying to do the basketball side of it. So I think the basketball side will be success. It starts in August. That'll be the first year. I know it'll be a success, and so we'll see where it goes from there.
All right, man. Well, I'm be looking out for that. Have you when it starts up again? We'll bring you back on so we can talk about it again.
All right, good. You know I'm here for you, AJ. Whenever you need me.
Always,
I talked
man.
to Mike D today for the first time in 2 years.
Hold
man.
on. Talk to me. Wait. Say again. What's Mike D doing, man?
I haven't heard from Mike D in 2 years.
I haven't seen him in like 4 years.
The last time he was here, he was staying outside of my house. And he's like, I got to go to Washington tomorrow, but I'm going to be back in a week.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from him
2 years ago.
in 2 years.
Yeah.
I got an email this morning. Hey, call me. So I called him. I was like, where are you at? He's like, I'm in Tucson. I'm gonna be right there. I'm gonna hit you later on the day. I'm gonna call you later on the day. And that's all I heard from him. He said he gonna call me later today. So that's it.
Diesel,
so
that's
waiting to hear from him again.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you see him, man, you got to get a picture with him, man. I got to hit him up too, man.
I will. So he says he's coming down. So when he comes down here, I'll FaceTime him.
Okay, yeah. Call me, man, because I miss that guy, man. Been looking for him for 3-4 years, man.
And he'll disappear again. You see, for two or 3 days, he'll be gone for another 2 years, but you got to find him when you can.
I love that guy, man. That's my brother.
When I see him again, I'm gonna FaceTime you.
Okay, man. Well, shoot, I appreciate you, brother. As always, thanks for taking the time tonight. And I'll be over there soon. I'll let you know about that UCLA game, and we'll go from there, brother, and enjoy our catch up in the season.
I appreciate it, AJ. Let me know, man. Good seeing you, man.
Brother.
Thanks for having me. Like too, man.